Hey folks, welcome back to the Play School. It's me, Phil, back with another piano tutorial. Today we're going to attack Changes by David Bowie. Now this is a great track. The chords kind of go from simple to complicated, like the groups of which are very achievable. Some of them we're going to have to pay a little more attention to. So I'm going to talk you through these as they come, and hopefully we can get to grips with it fairly simply. I especially want to talk about thinking about sevens and major sevens as versions of one chord over another, which is a really handy way of finding chords quickly. As usual, I'll take you through all the chords, some rhythm and structure stuff. At the end, there's a playthrough, and there is also some extra little bits of jazz to make it even better. Grab your chord sheet from the link below, print it out, and let's have some fun. Okay, so this is in the key of C, all the white notes, easy peasy, right? We're going to be straying from those quite a bit, but you know, it's nice to know. So let's start with this intro. Our first chord in the introduction is a C major 7 chord. Now, let's take a C chord, C, E, G. And then to make a major 7, we're actually going to think about the actual scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that is what major 7 is. The 7 is the curveball of piano chords because it's the only number which doesn't actually refer to that actual note from the scale. If you see a 7 on its own, it's that flat 7. If you see major 7, it's the actual 7. Another way to remember this, because I appreciate it's highly likely that you don't know every single scale on the piano, is from your root note, the major 7 is 1 half step, and the 7 is 2 half steps, right? C, C major 7, C7. Okay, try and remember that. Now, another great thing about these major 7s is we don't need to play the C because it's here. And there's that first chord, okay? So all we're going to do is take our C in the bass and play the E, the G and the B with your right hand. Now this is an E minor chord until you put that there. So if you want to remember it as an E minor chord with a C, I say go for your life. Okay, so there's your first chord. Sounds pretty familiar, right? Next chord is D flat 6. There's no kidding, this is a tricky chord to get your head around, so let's just work it out, okay? We've got D flat. We are going to skip all the E's and play F. We're going to skip G and play A flat. So D flat, F and A flat are your notes. And what I want you to do to make the 6, again, if you know the D flat scale, it's that B flat there. It's also just the next note to your 5, your 1 through 5, 6 note in the chord. Okay, so there is your D flat 6 chord. And I actually do want you to play it up there. Quite often we try and move conveniently around chords. If you listen carefully to the beginning of Changes, we've got a low chord and then a higher chord. And then we're going to go back to our low chord, and this is a D minor 7. Now, again, let's do this. D, F, A, and there's another D. Drop this by 2 half steps, because in this instance, the minor refers to the chord, right? We don't say major if we mean a major chord, but we do say minor. So 2 half steps. And again, we actually don't need to play the D because it's there. Now, if you think back, there's your first chord, and this is your third chord. It's just actually like a 1 white note adjacent for everything, right? So there's 3, and then 4, E flat 7, E flat, skip F, play G, skip A, play B flat, imaginary E flat is up there as well, drop it by 2 half steps. There we go, and there is E flat 7. And again, we're going low, high for this introduction, so I want you to play it up there. Okay, so let's just try those 4. And there's your first part of the introduction. Now we get into our two kind of, we've got this little groovy kind of intro, only happens kind of as a lead into verses, and our two chords are F and D. So there's F, F, A, C, and then to get to D, we'll keep the A at the bottom and just kind of squidge our hand to the D. Now there's this, I'm going to teach you this at the end, but that's where we are, right? I would use the pedal because we've got that kind of crescendo before we get into the verse. Okay? So let's take that intro all the way through. D flat 6, low D minor 7, high E flat 7, and then 1, 2, 3, So, speaking of the verse, again, we've got some simple chords and some slightly more complicated chords, so let's just go from the top, really. We're going to start in a C. C, E, G in root position. We'll take the G, stick it on the bottom. Now our next chord is E minor 7. To go from C to E minor, we've got a relatively easy change. All you need to do is swap the C for a B. And now to make the E minor into an E minor 7, there's your E, drop it 2 half steps. Next, we have an F. So we're going to go no adjacent, we're actually playing a G chord here over an E to give us our E minor 7. So E minor 7 and G, neither of them share any notes with F, so we've got to find the closest bit. I'm going to go up, F, A, C, just where we were playing it a second ago in that introduction. And back to G, which is what we were playing a second ago to make E minor, but now we've got our G with it, so it's a G chord. And then back to F again. Okay, that little passage is going to run twice. Without the step down to the F. The second time you'll see what I mean. So first time, waiting for my time is running wild, $1,000,000 streets and every time I thought I had it made, see the taste was not so sweet. Okay, apologies for my singing. So that's your first half of the verse. Now, we've got this kind of complex looking little progression here, but there is kind of a hack to this. Okay, so we're going to let's start down here, C major 7. You may recognise that because it's the first chord we played, right? But instead of here, E, G, B, even though we're not playing that C, we can still invert it. E goes up to E. So then we've got D minor 7, which we've met before. That's an F chord over a D. Also, we're just stepping up. And then we've got E minor 7, which we know is a G over an E. So those 3 chords are actually just walking next to each other, right? Like those 3, and then those, and then those. Now we're going to do this little jazzy drop down. And actually, it's chromatic, by which I mean everything is just going to drop down, just like that. That is 3 minor 7 chords next to each other, chromatically, which means everything just moves by half step. Walking up the white notes, and then chromatically down, and back to the white note we just came from. To complete that, we do a G. Again, we've got F, A and C here to make our D minor 7 with the D in the bass. No notes to share with G. We're just going to step up. Okay, let's just run that through one more time. C, D minor 7, E minor 7, E flat minor 7, back to D minor 7, and then up to G. Now if we're really clever to make it just develop the same way the piece does, the second time we do this move, I want you to take everything, we're going to invert it. So we were here, but let's go up to there. So we've taken the G off the bottom, put it on the top, and the B off the bottom and put it on top. So we're now in like a root position E minor chord, right? And we put this with our C, step up the white notes, step up the white notes again, chromatically down, back to those white notes. And then we'll do G here. I know we'll do G there because it's going into the chorus, which I'll come on to in a minute. Bit of a jump that. So yeah, we did the same thing. We just stepped up our white notes, C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, E flat minor 7. And then you will be into the chorus. And let's give that a go all the way through. So we've gone. Still don't know what I was. Pick an octave. Still don't know what I was waiting for. My time is running wild. A million dead-end streets, and every time I thought I got it made, it seemed the taste was not so sweet. So I tell myself to face it. No, I never caught a glimpse of how the others may see a faker. I'm much too fast to take that test. And there's the chorus. Okay, so the majority of our chorus is very achievable. I talk a lot about this descending bass line, and this one, quite often when you have a descending bass line, the chords kind of follow. But this one, the way I hear it, does not. We've just got this turn, face the changes. So in fact, let's deal with that right hand first. So we've gone, I'm much too fast to take that chance. There's your G. Changes. G. Step down to F, A, C for F. And then we use this pivot move to get from our F to our C, because our C's in the middle, right? We need to keep that and just bring our other fingers down to C, E, G. We're just going to pound this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Turn and face the strange changes. Just rotate back to the F we just came from. I don't want to be a rich man. Yeah, so that change there was the F to the D that we actually did in the intro. And then we're going to start again. Now, the important point here is we've got a 2/4 measure, which if we're counting, if we've got musical training and we're counting, we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Yeah, all we're doing is that D has 2 beats. Or we can also think of it as 1 and 2 and 3. 4 strikes. If you're not counting in musical terms, we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, back to the C. Okay. Mainly trying to listen and copy and follow that rhythm, but be aware that if it feels like the sequence is slightly shorter than you're expecting, that is what we want, right? That goes around twice. Now, oh yes, our left hand, we're going to need that, otherwise it's going to sound nothing like changes. We are going to go C, double the left hand because it's the chorus. C, B, A, G. Now we're actually going to carry on all the way down. That. We're going to walk all the way down the C scale and then jump back up via G. Now I'm probably going to kind of C, B, A, G, F, E, D, G, something like that, because if we start to get down here, we're very chunky. If you want to do it, you can. I'm just letting you know what I'm going to do. So, time face the strange changes. I don't want to be a richer man. Changes. And there's that intro again. That's the easy bit. Now, your three chords, your chords to end this are going to be an F, C, B flat, F, and they're going to go like this: F, F, A, C, in the familiar position that we played it. Pivot to your C, done that before. Now, we're going to finish it off with a B flat, which is, we're going to step down to B flat, so G goes to F, C goes to B flat, and E goes to D. Is going to finish on our F. Now I would aim for the F and just think, because that's like an expand and contract move from your F up to B flat back down to F. The F stays the same and the other two notes come up and down, right? So when you're heading down here, F, C, be ready for the F, but first we'll do the B flat and then finish on the F. So those are going to go with some different bass notes. It's going to be A, G, and then you'll play the roots, B flat, F. So that's F slash A, and then C slash G, meaning C over a G, and then B flat and F with their corresponding root notes. Should say when you see that chorus on the music, if we haven't encountered slash chords together before, that's how you'll see. That'll be C slash B, C over B, C over A, C over G, and then F over E. Okay, so think of it as a fraction: C over G. This is high, this is low. The C is over a G. Right. Yeah, so back to the ending. We're going to go F slash A, C slash G, B flat, and then F. That's time will change me. And the last one, we're going to go C, G, F, C. And again for this one, C, contract in to meet your thumb on the G, step down to F, expand away to find your C again. It's quite a neat little manoeuvre, that. Symmetrical almost. And that is going to go with E, D, F, C. Right? C over E, G over D, F and C. Okay. Let's take that whole chorus just at a kind of just below pace. So let's go. What they're going through. Face the strange changes. I don't want to be a rich man. Changes. Face the strange. Again, there's some funky timing there. I would encourage just to get to know the song, listen and copy, rather than worry about 3/4 and 2/4 and stuff that's going on there. Okay, so that's your chorus. Okay, so after this second chorus, we are going to go into our bridge. So you imagine we've just done the bit that we just learned a second ago, actually. Before we get into the bridge, we've got this lovely little lead up. We're going to go C, D minor 7, which we played earlier on, which is D with your F chord above, F, C, and then E minor 7, E with a G, B, D, G chord. So again, we're just stepping up. to get to our F there, right? So, and then you're into the chorus, right? So that's C, D minor 7, E minor 7, F, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, easy change to C. Back move that you can hear, right? So F, 2, 3, 4, F, pivot around that middle finger to C, and we're just going to kind of call it back. Stay on C with your left hand, and then F again. And all that was an F. We'll probably go up to the G, I guess, here. And then we're ready to go back into our chorus, right? So coming out of the verse, coming out of the chorus, sorry. Easy peasy, that bridge. Okay, structurally, intro, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, end, more or less. Couple of little things we want to talk about, right? First of all, after we come out of that first chorus, now this is fun. We're going to do that intro like the, but we're going to do it backwards. And we're going to start off with this bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Start there. We're just going to do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, yeah? So you're going to come out of. Same two chords again, it's D and F, and they're going to feel like they're the other way around. Again, but I can change 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and watch the rivers change their size, and then you're into verse 2. So that's that little interlude there. When we get to the end, we're going to do the difficult bit of the chorus twice, right? But I can change time. I said, well, time may change me, but I can trace time. And then we're into this ending, which you've seen all these chords before, but they're in a slightly different order. Let's go to our D minor 7, D, F, A, C, step up, and then down. And that's the same as these children that they spit on. That's that bit again. I'm doing an octave lower. You could also do it here. The slight change is that we have a D flat major 7 here. Now, that's a major chord and it's a major 7, not a 7. What that really means for us is that the only thing that changes is your bass note changes from a D to a D flat, and your thumb, if you're playing it here, let's put it here, the A changes to an A flat. And then we finish on that C major 7, very symmetrically where we started, right? So again, we're going to put that outro here, right? So we're going to go. I said my time. What are the words? I said time may change. I said the time may change, but I can't waste time. I said, well, time may change me, but I can't waste time. That is the end. Right, I'll give you 2 bits of extra jazz. First of all, as promised, is I will play the intro with the full bass line. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is like a little boogie woogie bass line. We're going to go D, D, F sharp, F, F sharp, A, B, A. I would think about it. We're kind of doing that kind of our broken chord bass, D, F sharp, A, which is what our chord is at that point. And I would think of it as like we're going, whoops, up to the F via that minor third. And then when you get to the A, we're just going to dance up and dance down. Yeah, so that all together. Yeah, so again. Just on the beat with that right hand. So it, like, if you imagine we've done, we started here, didn't we? And then you'll go. And of course that will happen with those D chords in the little interlude between the first chorus and the second verse. Now, the other bit, this is just a little, if you listen to this record, when we start at the beginning, it's going to be like, still don't know. There's lots of little piano jazz going on. Now, I haven't got time to teach you that right now. And what I want to do is to just give you an option. Let's say for verse 2. Verse 1, I think. I don't know what I was waiting for. My time. All good. Now, a good way of just getting that extra little bit of movement is to do like a 4 note. Gives you that extra bit of movement, and it gets this right hand moving, and once you're used to that kind of rhythmic pattern, you can start to mess around with it and have more fun and be more creative with the notes you use. But at first, you think about it like as 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. If our changes are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2. That's what we've got so far, right? And so all you're going to do is a kind of preempt the change. We're going to give it an arpeggio approach to the next chord. C, C, G, C, A minor 7. Just play all of those notes again. You've got 4 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. And you'll see there was no time for the G. For that in our current pattern, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. But there you can go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Really, as long as you're playing the notes that are in that chord, you can think of your hands as like almost like percussion instruments, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and yeah. You can't really go far wrong as long as you're in time and you've got the notes, you've got your fingers on the same notes. Go mental, all right? Have fun with that. Any thoughts, comments, please let me know below, and I'll see you in the next video.